In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make your hammer fist massively powerful. So powerful, it'll be like smashing a watermelon with a sledgehammer. If you don't know me already, I'm Shunshfu. This is Mr. Dorland, one of my superheroes in training. So the hammer fist is a unique weapon because it's a nice place to learn both hard and soft energy and how to mix them together. And if you stay all the way to the end, I'm going to teach you some applications of the hammer fist and one pretty unique one that I don't usually reveal because, well, people tend to misuse it. So I hope you don't. So are you ready, Mr. Dorland?
Yes, sir.
Good. Basics of a hammer fist, kind of like a chop. We can bring it up and across and out, okay? So if I was hitting Mr. Dorland here, it would just simply come in like so. Now we would use that not on the chest usually. We could do the solar plexus, or we'd go to the face, the groin. We'll cover those applications towards the end. So for right now, what we want to think about is the soft to hard motion of the hammer fist. What I like to do is just to get the soft, is just kind of make your hand go in a little circle like this, and nice and soft. Well, it doesn't seem like much, but if I do that from here, this is no body motion or anything, but just simply my arm. And does that work a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's not putting any body into it or anything. That's just simply my arm. So if you can get that soft motion going, then that in itself does create quite a bit of energy. What I like to envision is like, I think of like a big icicle here. And if you can think, because the trick here is to have your hand very, very soft as it's going through the air, which means no tightness in the muscles. But then as it hits, it's got to tighten as hard as it can. But if you tighten early, it's like putting on the brakes and you lose all your power. So it has to be a nice timing thing. So what I like to think of is like an icicle. Have you ever seen like an icicle hanging down, it's kind of melting? If you were trying to grab onto an icicle there, okay, then you would really just squeeze yourself down it. So the squeezing, if you squeeze at the right time, accelerates that weapon. So nice and soft, and then squeeze, and you can see that motion in itself. I'll do it horizontal, so it's more, or I can do it downward too. If I just make that circle and just squeeze at the end, nice and soft here, then it can create power. Okay, good with that? Now the next thing you want to think about is the floating foot. So when you hit here, so if I'm here, I'm pushing here, this foot is off the ground and that puts my weight on him. Okay, now we do have another video on the floating foot which we cover that more into detail. So I'm just going to mention it here and you can jump over to that video and get some more detail on it. So just remember, pretty much all of our weapons are floating foot. So when you do this here, notice my foot, you can see the foot, just moves at the time of the hammer fist here, okay? If your hammer fist is going down, you can put some drop of body weight into it. We can have floating foot and drop of body weight here and put energy downward there, okay? So that's another way of adding energy there, okay? Thank you, Mr. Dorland. Come over here. So, good ways of creating the power in there. First, soft to hard, okay? Floating foot, and then you can drop some body weight in there too, okay? All right, so now let's talk about applications. Why would we do a hammer fist? It's a blunter weapon, so if we're going to bony area, we might use that, okay? Instead of a chop, if I was going in here to the face, I might not want to use a chop. There's a lot of bones in there, but a hammer fist is certainly not going to hurt my hand, and it probably is going to hurt his face, okay? For now, we're using the chest here, so we would think about a horizontal hammer fist that would come up to the target height and across this way, okay? Now, we can also take this same thing here to the groin, okay? So making this big for instructional purposes, it would make a big circle and then hitting the groin here, okay? Now notice when he hit the groin, they're gonna bend, right? So I always wanna have this hand up here, so that's gonna keep his face from hitting mine, okay? All right. When we do it to groin, we don't want to tell him about it, so we would just make that circle small there and there. So that's an application of that. We could do the same thing from here in front of us, okay? Same way. Notice again, the circle, nice and small. If he's giving me some smack here, he's talking smack, and my hands are here, boom, I can get that shot, sneaking it in there without. We could do it behind us. Now, we don't know what's back there, so what I've got to do is fire this through my body, and I've got a cover hand in front of me so that the weapons are leading the way in. Because I don't want to just like turn around, he could already be punching me, right? So if I start my circle here and boom, back that way, okay? So there's another application, same thing over the top. I could do this, again, protecting my face. I don't know what's there from here, and then whatever's there. If he's closer, what's gonna happen is if you happen to be in closer, then I'm firing my hammer fist and oops, my elbow hits him and then the hammer fist, right? So I'm good with that. You could also do this in front over the top. Now this is the one that I was saying that I don't usually teach, because here's how I like to do this, okay? You don't want to telegraph it, so what I want to do here is I want to keep my body still and bring this straight up through the center. Now notice, he can't see anything down in this area, right? Especially if we were like really face to face here, okay? Boom. Now what I'm going to do, so can you see that coming?
No.
Not until it gets up in here, right? So if I don't telegraph with my body in here and I just bring this over the top and down, then we're good to go. He doesn't see it. And I can bring my cover hand right behind it so I've got it ready to go. Okay, now what's so special about this one? It's a nerve shot, okay? So if I'm taking this and I'm catching the end of the chin here, the nerves are actually back here behind the jaw. And what this does is that is going to tighten your jaw nice and tight, really tight there. I won't hit it too hard, but from here, you okay?
Yeah, but I can feel it.
It kind of rocks you, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what that does is it drives the jaw back into these nerves, and it gives you, how'd you feel there?
Loopy.
Kind of loopy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it goes into those nerve shots, gets you a little loopy, and it's actually what happens is if you hit them a little bit harder, they start bawling. Not because, oh, they're bawling like a baby because it hurts, but it actually causes a nerve to start the tears and bawling. It's the strangest thing ever, okay? You can do it from the side too. I don't want to catch him with that. Do it from the side too, but that right on the tip of the chin here is just a nasty shot. Now, if they're mouthing off, this is coming down, boom, it's gonna open their mouth. Right? Mm-hmm. So do what you will with that. All right. Thank you, Mr. Dorland.
Ooh.
Good. If you're new to martial arts or you're ready to take your martial arts up to the next level, I'm here to help you do that. The really great stuff in martial arts has always been kept secret, but we believe that anyone who wants to learn should be able to learn, that these secrets should be revealed, and that's what we're here to do. So if you're somebody who wants to learn, you're in the right place. Now, Mr. Dorland, what do we want the Shoshu community to do?
Hit that subscribe, smash that like, and ring that bell.
Awesome. One take.
Maybe one. No, I planted on that thing. I want to see that.